And so when I saw insurance, I saw this as a thing I prayed for 25 plus years, my way out. If this money was true, like they were saying they were making, I was like, I'm going to kill it.
Hi, everybody. Grady Polson. Welcome to the America Agency.
All right, hello everybody. Grady Polson, welcome to the America Agency. So excited to have Kendall Clark on with us today. There are people who are good at this business. There are people who are great at this business, and there are people who are the best at this business. And Kendall Clark in 2025 was the absolute best at this business. And I say that because Kendall was given an award on stage by our CEO in front of 7,000 people for being the #1 agency manager for persistency. And Kendall doesn't manage a team of 80,000 a month. He doesn't manage a team of 300,000 a month. His team in December did $630,000 a month, final expense IUL, and his persistency is over 96%. That's an A, right?
Hey.
That's an A. That's an A. So, some of you guys are out there fighting for your 70%, arguing with the carriers when you drop to 68%. How about you just listen in, right? How about you get your agents on here to find out what Mr. Swister 96 is doing? And I'm so excited to have him on here today. I'm a long time coming, but also at the same time, I know he's got the thunder he's going to bring because he's doing something different because he's the absolute best in our company, and we are the best company in the industry. So you are right now about to hear something special. So buckle up, listen up. Mr. Kendall Clark, how you doing today, brother?
Man, Grady, I'm unbelievable, man. I'm still on the Ohio conference. This is my 5th one, and I'm just excited to share here with the team. But I got to say this. This was a team effort. We could not do that without the other leaders I have on the team. I don't want to name anybody. Matter of fact, I will. Crystal Clark, Corinne Giles, Leslie Schofield, Tishla McNeil, Brandon Finley, those leaders, Corrine Ramos, those, if it wasn't for them and the other people on the team, we would not hit 96%. So definitely got to shout out my team.
I love it, man. Well, good, as we should, because that's how we got here. So what I would love, people find this business different ways. People have different backgrounds, of course. And just to give some background, I'd love for you to kind of get us up to insurance, get us up to the past couple of years, catch us up. What's your background, where you came from, family, et cetera. We always like to know who you are so then we can know why you work so hard, right? That's the thing. Why do you work so hard?
Man, I work so hard, man, because I had a lot of failures in my past. I'll be 53 next month. And when I got introduced to insurance, actually, I looked at a company with 3 letters back in 2016. Made sense, just didn't make sense for me. So when I got reintroduced to insurance, at the time I was actually an actor, a paid actor. I did commercials for Anthem, Blue Cross Blue Shields, CarMax ads, University of Virginia, everything you can name under the sun. Also was a motivational speaker, speaking to high school kids all across the country, and as well as a co-author of 2 books with Les Brown being one of the authors, and personal trainer. So I did everything, man. But when I got introduced to insurance, what got me about FFL was I was on a list of a list. I wasn't directly recruited. A friend of mine got involved. He went out, sold some policies at East Los Angeles, realized he don't speak Spanish very well. Actually made $5,000 that day, decided he didn't want to do it. On his list was another young lady who was an accountant. She said, you know what, this is not for me, but I got a friend of mine named Kendall who could kill it. So she called me and said, Kendall, you ever thought about selling insurance? I was like, nah, I don't want to do that because I come from network marketing. I did network marketing. Many of you might know her. My ex-wife is Crystal Clark. We have 2 kids. We're married 21 years. My son takes his state board for radiology tech next month. And my daughter, we actually had a call today. She'll be playing basketball overseas in Portugal this in the spring. She got a master's in 5 years, and I'm proud. So proud dad. But I wanted to do something different because I wanted to focus more on acting and modeling. So when she said, he's making $60,000 a month, I said, how? And she said, well, they got leads. I said, wait a minute, hold up. You mean they got to talk to people in the grocery store and gas station in PetSmart. He said, yeah, they got leads. He has an office in Newport News, and that's how he's doing it. Would you talk to him? I said, yeah. So I get on the phone with him, and he's telling me how much he's making and sending me the leaderboard, Grady. Back when we used to post the leaderboard, he's sending me these numbers. I was like, what is this? What they make in a month, a year? He said, nah, this is what they make in a week. I said, oh, hold up. I said, how can I get started? I said, how much does it cost? Because I thought it was a cost to get started. He said, nah, it don't cost you anything. I said, what I need to do? He said, send me your email. I'm going to send you this voucher. So got the voucher, December 2018. I started studying. At that time, I was recently separated, going into my divorce, assistant basketball coach for the high school, still acting and modeling. So I never made the test a priority. I kept putting it off. Grady, I paid for the course 8 times, man. I'm talking about it expired. I paid for 60 days. It expired again. I paid for 90 days. Expired again. I paid for 30 days. The problem was I only got on when it was about to expire in like 3-4 days. And then my mentor would call and say, how's the test going? How's the study going? I said, man, I'm doing great. Not knowing he could go in the back office and actually see I hadn't logged in at all. So long story short, man, COVID hit. And before COVID, 2019, I made a vow to myself that I wanted to get this exam done because that Christmas, December 2019, I barely had money to buy Christmas gifts for my kids. And I had my mortgage, but I didn't have any money. So I had to borrow money from my mom, say, hey, I'm going to get this Xbox One, but these video games are expensive. Can you buy this for your grandchild? I hit my brother. Can you get the controller? Because I have the mortgage, but I don't have the rest. So I vowed to myself, I said, you know what? I got to finally take this exam. January goes by, I didn't take it. February doesn't goes by, I didn't take it. And I had some goals on my list. First of the year was to take the exam. Second was to make $10,000 a month. Third was to learn how to play my guitar. You know, I bought a guitar. I saw it on QVC at 2:00 in the morning. Yeah. He said, learn how to play in 30 days. And when you had a couple of adult beverages and you walk in at 2 in the morning, you're like, you know what? I can learn how to play the guitar. So I bought that, never learned how to play it, but that was on my list. So when COVID hit, my gym shut down, Hollywood shut down, speaking shut down because there's no schools. I said, I got to do it. I finally took the exam. I knocked it out, got a 93. It was like a huge weight lifted. I was excited. I was like, what was I scared of? And then my first 6 months, I did about 160 issue paid. And my first full year, I got the Red Jacket Hit Hall of Fame.
Let's go. Let's go, bro.
And one of the reasons I really pushed when I got in, I'm gonna tell agents, I had a why. My why it changes, but I was tired of being tired. I was tired of struggling. You know, I was sleeping on my mom's couch, even though I had a house. My AC leaked and the ceiling collapsed, and it damaged my hardwood floors. I had black mold in there. So I had a house that I couldn't sell, couldn't sleep in, and I was struggling. And also my daughter basically had a scholarship for basketball, but there was some other things we had to pay. And I didn't want to have to tell her because the first year we took out a parent loan and my credit was so bad, Grady, it was unscorable. So I couldn't do it for me. Crystal took out the loan, but we had to pay it. And I didn't want to come to her the second year, sophomore year, and say, hey, you know what, baby girl, I know you've been working hard, but I'm sorry, daddy can't afford for you to keep going to this school. Why don't you go somewhere else? And so when I saw insurance, I saw this as a thing I prayed for 25 plus years, my way out. If this money was true, like they were saying they were making, I was like, I'm going to kill it. I didn't talk about it. I just got quiet and I followed my mentor. I knew what I could do based on my work ethic and skill set, but I followed. I just stayed quiet. I'm the type, I'll stay quiet, be humble, but when I kill it, I'm going to talk and when I started killing it, I started talking.
Hey there, hope you're enjoying the training. Real quick, we came out with this insurance sales guide, and it's over 100 pages of product knowledge, scripts, referrals, how to get referrals, rebuttals, everything that you could want to get from where you are to truly top producer level. Link below, go ahead and grab it, and we'll send it out to you free.
Because I backed up by just being humble, and I was able to pay my daughter's second year of college without having to take out a second loan. Paid her master's, paid her third year, paid her fourth year, all because of this business. And that's why I got excited. I just took off. I couldn't tell her no. I didn't want to look her in the eye and say, you've been dreaming about playing college ball. And because of my failures and the things I did wrong, you can't go. And I couldn't let that happen.
Bro, that's powerful. That's so powerful. So you come in, so January, then you pass it 96. What we always say is if you need a 70 and you're in it. If you get a 96, you study too hard. But you got it. You nailed that thing. You crushed it,
man. I got it.
So you're getting going, and what were the kind of first leads you started on? What was that first kind of like?
Man, I don't think these vendors are around anymore. I mean, I'm talking about the Game Time and the Happy Agent. I mean, paying $45 a lead and you get 30 of them. And here's what's crazy. My mentor said, you got to spend $1,000 a week. And I had never met this guy. That's another thing too, Grady. For 2 years, he'd been jumping on me. I never met him. So when I finally passed, I said, I got to come to your office. Go to his office, sit with him. He said, hey, can you spend $1,000 on leads? I'm like, huh? 1,000? I'm like, I got this unemployment coming in. I don't know if I could do that. Now, at the time, the unemployment was pretty good. I was sitting on like 10 or 15. I said, 1,000? I don't know, because I don't know if this thing will work yet. So he said, get these Happy Agent leads. I said, I could do 900. He said, all right. So 900 got me 20 leads. I did 900. I saved the whole $100. 15 of them disconnected. Already did it. So I'm like, man, these leads are trash. They terrible. So I went on my first 11 appointments. Because that's when we dialed on Monday to run on Tuesday. Dialed on down Thursday to run for the weekend.
Good old days.
Good old days, man. My first 11 appointments, Grady, I did not call for help. I'm building rapport with these clients. I'm building rapport. I'm building rapport, Grady, that the old ladies love me. They giving me bottles of Crown and Ciroc, and I'm leaving there. Come back Friday. I'm going to take care of it there. You sure? Yeah, take what do you want? I'm like, I'm feeling like the man, like this is going to be easy. I'm building great rapport. So my mentor said, why ain't you call from the house? I said, man, you don't understand. They love me. He said, they ain't going to be there Friday. I said, nah, you don't get it, man. He said, nah, you won't get it. You'll see. Wednesday, Kendall came up. I got to take the dog to the vet. Can we get together next Monday? Saturday night, Kendall, I decided I ain't going to do it. I went on 11 appointments where I didn't get a sale. And I was like, you know what? I ain't feeling these leads. And I called my mentor and I said, you know what, man? I ain't feeling these leads. He said, it ain't about what you feel. It's about what's working. It's working for everybody else. Why can't it work for you? So then I called my ex. I said, you know what, Crystal? I'm effing this thing up. I said, it ain't the leads. It's me. I'm in my own way. I think that's a mistake agents make. You get in your own way. So my next appointment, I had to get help closing $26 a month. I went to the lady's house. I went through the policy, financial inventory. It was $10,000 for like $60. She said, well, that's too much, but I think about it. I said, okay, let me call her. I said, let me call my supervisor. I just want to make sure I'm giving you the best product. And I called her and I said, hey, I'm sitting with Miss Johnson, and Miss Johnson just got approved by Americo. She wants to think about it. I just want to make sure I'm putting her in the right direction. Do you mind talking to Miss Johnson? First thing she said to her, Grady, was, Miss Johnson, Kendall had 2 jobs today. One, to find something that fits your needs and your budget. And secondly, get you approved. Now, most times when people want to think about it, it's a cost issue. Is it a cost issue or the value? Did he show you a good value? Yes, he did. So is it the cost? She said, yeah, it's the cost. But Miss Johnson, Kendall can bring it down. So great, I dropped it down to $5,000. It still was like $45. She said, that's a little bit too much. And this is not we can go less than $5,000. I said, Kendall, take it down. I took it down to $2,500. It was like $25.50. She said, yeah, I could do that. She went in the house and got a checkbook. And I said, I had to get help closing $26. I said, you know what? If that's all I got to do is call for help on every one of them, I'm going to kill this. So the next 3 I called for help. I started closing and just took off. I got out my own way.
Bro, there's so much in that I don't even, Kendall. Okay. So you calling for help. You figured it out.
Yes.
15 of the leads were crap, but then you booked 11 appointments. So you got 26-ish leads.
Yep.
But then you didn't call for help because you thought you could just wing it. And there, anytime you're getting that compliment, it's the compliment close. Like they just, you're the best. I'm gonna tell everybody at Bridge about you. Give me 5-year cards. It just doesn't work for us right now, but I want everybody to know about you, Kendall. Right. So our job
is
closed, right?
taking home plates. Yeah. And
Yes. The message Kendall's delivering here is clients don't buy from friends. If they knew someone, if they probably know someone that might sell life insurance, but they don't want to ask their buddy from church to advise them on their personal matters. They filled out a lead card, requested for someone else to come over so they can keep that separation. Our job is to be the professional, which is phenomenal. So, okay, so you go year one, you're cranking 160, 170 first year. Now, what did you do second year to get to 400 in Hall of Fame?
Well, actually,
and then we'll dig into persistency stuff. Yeah. But I want to hear,
got you. So
this is important.
Actually, it was the first. I started in June of 2020, so it was 6 months. I did 160. So I knew I could hit Hall of Fame. They said 400, and I went to conference. This was back when we did the 7-city conference. I spoke in Jacksonville. And there was a guy who was like 21, and he did 500. And I'm sitting on stage beside him. I'm like, my son's 21. 20. I said, that's like admitting my son is better than me. I said, man, ain't no way in hell this dude better than me. Life experience-wise, nah. So the following year, because my trajectory was my first June, I did 12,000. July, I did 8. August, I did 18. September, I did 22. October was 27. November was 32. And December was 35. So I knew I could write 30. So I just started writing 30. So I got comfortable grading. And I think this is a mistake a lot of agents make. They get comfortable. I got comfortable issuing 35, 36,000, right under 40, 20-some thousand in deposits. I got comfortable. My bank account growing. I'm not buying anything. I'm investing in the business. I'm paying for recruiting. That's something I spent $3,000 a month on recruiting. My mentor said, hey, you need to get $1. I got added $1. So I had like 12 to 15,000 going out every month. But I was like, okay, I'm pouring it back in. If I have a profit of $7,000 every month, I'm good. Everything else is paid. I got money for taxes. I ain't got no car note. I got my truck. So it was like I was just trekking along. So then I got challenged right about September of 2021. I got challenged and said, you got a first year story. First full year. You got the logo. Why don't you go for Hall of Fame? Now, in September of 21, I was like 2-something. Like, it was like 200,000. I was like, I don't know if I'm worth that. I'm good. So then they said, you get a ring with Hall of Fame. I said, a ring? I was in another company. They gave a ring for 100,000. And we never hit 100. We always did like 97, 95. I said, okay, a ring. He said, I'm going to buy you a Breitling watch if you hit 100,000. If you hit Hall of Fame. I said, what? A watch? You going to buy me a Breitling? He said, yeah. He said, you get the bonus with the company. Back then we got bonuses with Hall of Fame. Like $4 or $5,000. This time, I'm like, okay, watch, ring, Breitling. I said, I'm going to do it. I had never hit 50,000 in a month rating. Never. It was always like 42. I never done 40,000. It was always 38, 39. So I told myself, I said, I keep making a goal to hit 40,000. Why don't I shoot the goal to 50? And in September, I did 42,000. So then October, 50,000. November, 30-some thousand. So I go into December needing 72,000 to hit Hall of Fame.
Hey there, Grady jumping in real quick. Recently, we came out with this insurance sales guide. Fantastic resource. People are loving it. Over 100 pages of insight into the business, from product knowledge to leads to full-blown scripts, presentation, referrals, and over 30 plus different objections written out word for word on how to overcome them. Just trying to help people out there in the industry, help yourself. If it's something you're looking for some more tools and resources, click the link below and we'll send it right out to you.
Now, I watched that movie, Mr. 3000, with Bernie Mac. There was no way I was going to be Mr. 397,980. No. I said, I'm not going to get that close and miss because I'll never try it again. Like, I'm the type, I'd rather fail by a lot than miss it by a little bit. So I said, there's no way I'm going to get that close and miss. So I was 72,000 out. So I already knew that December could be a great month because the previous December, the December before FFL, I barely had $1,500 just to pay my mortgage. Following December, I had 40 grand deposited because I had a miracle bonus and all that other stuff. So I said, you know what? December's a great month because people like to spend. Plus, I come from the gym industry. People spend money in December. So I just wrote, Randy. I'm talking about I wrote, asked for referrals. I worked 7 days a week. I wasn't going anywhere. I told a couple of my agents, don't you need a policy? Yeah, you ain't got no policy. You're putting yourself, you're going to keep this policy. You're not getting rid of it. So I wrote something cheap on them. I bought a policy for my mom. I told my brother, hey, don't you need another policy? Yeah, man. He still got it today. He got a policy. I said, you know what? My kids ain't got their IULs. Let me go ahead and drop $5,000 in each one of their IULs. They got IULs. I made sure that I was going to hit by any means necessary. And when Ed called me and said, congratulations, and I saw the numbers was full too. So 92 people hit that year. I was number 89. I had just made the cut. And I was excited because I said I did something because I set my mind to do it. And that's what I believe. I tell agents, you don't hit Hall of Fame because you ain't making up in your mind that you really want it bad enough. Because if I could write 200,000 in 3 months, what's stopping you from just knocking it out from January to the end of the year? Because you don't want it bad enough.
That's right, bro. How bad do you want it, guys? It's a whole new year right now. Just going to convention. The company's on fire. Leads are in a great mindset.
Yeah.
It's your choice. How big can you dream?